Hello students, this is Govind sir, and today we are starting our second unit that is related to system modeling, and we have completed our first unit, and in this topic we are studying about the basics of system modeling, need of modeling, and the some applications. So now let's start with the topic that is system modeling. System modeling is the process of developing abstract models of a system, with each model representing a different view or perspective of the system. So system modeling is a process of developing abstract models of a system. System modeling has now come to mean representing a system using some kind of graphical notation, which is now almost always based on notations in the unified modeling language. So we have unified modeling language to represent the graphical notations. System modeling helps the analyst to understand the functionality of the system, and models are used to communicate with customers. So it will helps to the analyst to understand the functionality of the system, and also the models which are used in the system modeling also important to communicate the customers. Now we have two different type of systems in the syllabus, that is LTI system and LTV system. We have continuous time LTI system, means respect to time it will be continue, that is continuous time, and LTI system stands for linear time invariant system. So we will discuss what is linear time invariant systems. So suppose we have a system diagram in which xt is input and yt is output of that system, and this is the system, and this system has some transfer function. So we applied xt to this system and we get the output as yt. So a continuous time system is called linear time invariant if it is both linear and as well as time invariant. So important thing is to understand what is linearity and what is time invariance. So start with this linearity. Linearity in simple way, the relation between input and output should be linear. If we talk about the expressions, so we have some expression for linearity. If x1t is input to the system, and we will get the output y1t. Similarly, if input is x2t, then we get the output y2t. So the system should be called linear if it will follow the this equation, that is alpha x1t plus beta x2t will generate alpha y1t plus beta y2t. So this is necessary condition or sufficient condition for linearity. If we check about the system is linear or not, we put the some values and check the linearity in this form. Okay, and in the simple way, in the simple way, the linearity is the linear relationship between input and output. Clear? Now next is time invariance. Very simple, that the system which is not where which is not varying with the time, that is time invariant system. So if xt produces yt, that means xt is input and yt is output for that system, then for any delay, that is tau, the system should be represent the same value, like x of t minus tau generates the y of t minus tau. So we have another diagram, or so that we can easily understand the time invariant system. So move to the next. Here is, we have input xt and the system we applied xt to the system and get the value of value of output, that is yt. Okay, but we are providing a delay after getting the input, sorry, output of the system. That is, it is called delayed response, because we are providing a delay after getting the response. So this is a delayed response. So we have one output after delaying response. Okay, now we are doing in the another way, that is we are providing a delay in the input. Okay, so xt is delayed by the value t naught, then it is xt of x of t minus t naught. Okay, after that it is applied to the system, then we have the different value, different output y dash t, or it can be represented as y of t comma t naught. Okay, if these two values are equal, then the system is time invariant system. If these two values are equal, then the system is time invariant system, else the system is time variant system. So we are checking the time variance or invariance by providing the delay. First, you have to provide delay in the output, that is delayed response, and second, you have to provide delay in the input, so it is called response to the delayed input. Okay, if the both the values are same, then the system is time invariant, and if we have different values, then the system is time variant system. Okay, I think it will be very clear to all of you. Now move to the next. So what is the need of modeling? Professor George E.P. Box said that essentially all models are wrong, but some are useful. Or some said that there is no sufficient model, but still, modeling is a key feature to increase the system reliability and its adaptability. Okay, so need of modeling to make generative programming realistic, and it is also needed to increase the reusability of the system. Okay, so it is very important that why we have need of modeling to make generative programming realistic, to increase system reliability and its adaptability, and the we have need of modeling to increase reusability of the system. Now we have some model types of which is are used in system modeling. uh, we can classify on the different basis. First one is data processing model. Data processing model. Data processing model showing how the data is processed at different stages. Definitely there are different number of stages in the models, and this type of model shows how the data is processed at different stages. Okay, another one is composition model. Composition model showing how entities are composed of other entities. There is a relation between entities that will be shown in composition model. Okay, and next is architectural model showing principal subsystems. Architectural means look like a structure. Okay, and another one is classification model, which showing how entities have common characteristics. So we can classify the entities with the same characteristics, or can say common characteristics. So this is related to the classification model type. Another is stimulus and response models. Stimulus and response model means it's showing the system's reactions to events. If an event occur at the input, then how a system will react, this is shown by stimulus response model. Okay, so this is our common model types of system modeling. Now we have about some building blocks. System can be made up from a range of building blocks. There are number of building blocks. Each building block is considered to have a single property or function. Okay, so for example, an electric circuit consists which is made of an electric circuit system which is made up from blocks which represent the behavior of resistance, capacitance, and inductors as respectively. So by combining these building blocks of a variety of electrical circuit system can be built up, and the overall input output relations can be obtained. So a system built in this way is called lumped parameter system. Okay, so we can say that there are number of building blocks to have a single property or function. Now move to the next. We have some steps for making system models, or can say we have some steps in system modeling. So start with the first one is determining the modeling goal. Determine the modeling goals. What are the goals? What are the need to for system modeling? So you have to first find out the system modeling goals. Okay, then determine the components. What are the components required in the system modeling? Then system layout, model system layout. What is the layout of the system? And after that we have to determine model components. To represent a model, to create a model, what are the required components? Model components. Then because we have different type of models, so we have different type of model components. After that, analyze the model, what you have designed, what you have make a layout of that model, so you have to analyze that. Then design new component, it is required, so you can design new component. After that, you have to test designed component. What you have designed, newly designed component, then you have to test designed component. Then the test system components. First one is test designed components. After that, you have to test system components. Then integrate the components newly designed and the system designed system components. Then last but not the least, you have to test system model. Okay, so after the integration you have test the complete system model. So these are the basic steps of system building, system modeling. Okay, so in the next video we will discuss about different system models like electrical system models, mechanical system models, electromechanical, fluid systems, heat, thermal systems. Okay, so it will be in this lecture we have covered about the basics of system modeling, need of system modeling, steps and types of system modeling. Okay, thank you.